Hello, students and families of TAISM. I'm Mr. Gibney,
And I'm Miss Woods.
and we'd like to welcome you to our English Science Collaboration Unit. We're very excited. It also involves history and the library as well. The goal being here, you might see many of your social media sources that you access, along with newspapers and Googling, etc. And our goal is to combine English and science and to work on, well, what makes a credible source?
Yeah, so we'll be studying some various scientific texts and some universal real-world texts as well, so that we can discover some of these things that makes a source credible. And there are three essential questions that we will come back to throughout this unit. One being, how do informational texts influence readers? How do we know if a source is credible? And how does a text structure, format, and features help determine an author's purpose?
Wow, Ms. Woods, right there, I see some transfer skills, some things that can help students in university and just in life in general.
Definitely. So we are going to cover a few English standards that definitely transfer across any subject. One, which is to cite strong and thorough textual evidence to support an analysis, and make sure that you can infer and draw conclusions based upon that information. Another one, which is to determine an author's purpose of a text and to analyze the strategies that the authors use in order to express that purpose. And then also, what is the central idea of the text and how to analyze its development throughout the course of that text. And then to gather relevant information, so that's the research part, to collect sources and data. And the last one is to draw conclusions from that evidence to make sure that you can provide your own thesis or your own resolution or solution for an informational text.
Wow, Ms. Woods, I love how they all build upon each other and they give you a thorough output right there, something you could use all throughout life.
Yes. So there'll be two major assessments that we'll have, one formative, one summative. The mid-unit formative assessment, which will be for you to read an article and analyze the ways the author uses structural elements and text features to express that central idea, coming straight from the standards, coming straight from those essential questions that we posed in the beginning. And then the summative assessment is something that's really cool and creative. It's a multimedia presentation. So you will choose a scientific issue, you'll do research on the scientific issue, find both sides, and then you will produce a presentation, a Google slide presentation on this scientific issue and all of the text features, and choose a side.
I love it. I feel like when students do these multimedia presentations, they really own the skills that you're working on, because if you can teach something, then you truly know it. And I'm going to try and come and watch as many of these as I can in Ms. Gossett and Ms. Wood's class. So we'll be using two databases. So you might be wondering, well, how is science involved? Well, as Ms. Wood said, we'll be talking about scientific issues. And then at the end, in my class, you'll be able to do a claim evidence reasoning piece. So talking about what you've learned, what was the scientific claim, what evidence was there, and what is the scientific reasoning behind it.
A true collaboration.
So these two databases Mrs. Spill showed us, and they're just fantastic. Right? So you have SIRS, and it's going to have pro-con leading issues. It's going to help you, instead of just Googling or just looking on Instagram or Twitter or whatever, you can find credible sources and then you can analyze them, right? And you can compare them to other sources you find and see what's going on. So here would be a cool debate you could do, maybe about should space exploration be privatized? Can people like Elon Musk go off and do this and try and colonize Mars, or should it be regulated by some intergovernmental agency?
Oh, wow.
And here's another one, right? Should the U.S. government provide funding for embryonic stem cell research? Right? What's going to happen to those embryos left over from in vitro fertilization clinics? And so this would be a fun one you could do with a partner, and you could present on it, and then you could do a claim evidence reasoning in my class.
Awesome. That all sounds very controversial and engaging, and I'm looking forward to seeing your presentations on whatever it is that you choose.
And then here are the science standards involved as we switch to the next generation science standards. Really, it's having you engage in the practices of being a scientist. And here, one of them is obtaining, evaluating, and communicating information. right? And that goes right hand in hand with those English standards. So you can see the crossover connections. You can really see those transfer skills. Then also engaging in argument from evidence, right? So if you have some type of cognitive conflict, what kind of evidence can we use and how can we explain that and reach solutions, etc. One thing I'll go over in my class as you're getting ready to do this type of research are some bioethical principles that might help guide you while you're going over these scientific issues, such as justice, respect, maximizing benefits, and minimizing harms.
And we look forward to seeing you collaborate in the same way that we have. So it's going to be really cool to see your projects and see you work together. And more importantly, make sure that you understand and you are proficient in understanding text features and not being duped by fake news or uncredible sources.
Definitely. We think we're really invested in this project. We think it can be a key to kind of unlocks a lot of doors for you, this ability to do research. So we look forward to your great work.
Yeah, right on.